Yeah, so it's very easy to make that switch. When you're again when you come into an organization and the organization is going to be, taking that step forward and saying, you know what, we just can't keep doing things the way that we've been doing. We need to control our data. We need that long-term strategy. We've got to engage our users. We've got to give them the data governance that they're looking for. The visualization and the transition of the end user from Power BI to Qlik is actually really one of the easiest parts. The users they just become engaged so quickly that we continuously get, well, what, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we get more information? Can we get more information? And that's where, I know we had talked a little bit earlier about presenting the single source of truth and making sure you're governing your data. Those are the key pieces that when standing up this strategy, from a Power BI standpoint, where a lot of people, where you think it may be a positive, where a lot of people can get their hands on it, a lot of people can build dashboards, and a lot of people can get great insights out there. Where there's some concern there, and I'm a very big proponent on, just having everybody have access to all the information and the ability to make dashboards. There's a little bit of a balance there, and a hybrid solution always becomes the key to how you manage this. So the beauty is, as you're going through and going forward with this type of program, look into the data warehouses, look into, making sure you're talking to the senior management. Anybody that's putting out an analytic roadmap has to have a seat at the table with senior levels and really nailing down what your rules are and what your definitions are for all your facts and dimensions. Because when you figure that out and you get through the business and you've color coordinated, your visualizations where revenue is dark blue and opportunities are lighter blue, and you're able to put that information out on the dashboard so everybody understands what they're seeing. Having a hybrid solution of controlling the information, controlling the measures, controlling the facts, at the warehouse level, and then being able to distribute that information through, a ClickSense type solution, you've taken all the concern over that single source of truth. We know in the organization today, if you look at dark blue revenue sales against the green line of budget, that crosses every one of our applications. Purchasing might be, a different color, and, supply chain is going to be a different color, and inventory is going to be a different color. Everybody knows, engaged very quickly, what they're seeing on those applications. But again, holding that centralized governance of the data, which is not as hard as it may seem to people. You're controlling your facts and dimensions, you're controlling the definitions of that. And then once you control that, the ability to distribute all of that information out through ClickSense, whether it's through QVD files, binary code, pushing that out to the masses, they then, your end users are now able to use that information. Go ahead, make your own charts, look at your own data, slice it, do whatever you want with it. I know that when that's distributed, I'm very confident in the information that's going out. So anyone today, at least at our organization, anyone today looking at a ClickSense dashboard knows that it's been through, our governance process. The definitions have been defined. If they just want to add a dimension to slice it a different way, they might, add different locations or add different divisions or add different sales managers. All of that's just, is taken care of on the back end and the warehouse side. And I don't even have to worry about that. That's all connected and taken care of.
That's awesome to hear. And it's exciting to hear you guys have figured out how to manage this way to encourage self-service, to encourage that slicing and dicing. And in that too, you even said, so that people go, this is exciting. Can I look at it this way? Can I look at it this way? And you're like, yes, you can. Go whatever things you want to do with it. You have this, and you're going to discover new things that I didn't think about as the guy who owns this thing, or Travis didn't think about who's developing this thing, because you're thinking about your data differently than I might have, because you're the subject matter expert. But you've built it in such a way that they get to go do that. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. One of the biggest things that we do, and anybody, going down this journey and starting this process is, take the time to understand, take the time to get your definitions squared away. It will be a significant support level later to know that your information is secure, the answers are correct. And also, always start with your lowest level of granularity with your data. Can't emphasize that's a big piece of any BI solution, but specifically with Qlik and the associative engine and the way that this information is pulled together, and the engagement that users have, when they first open up that first Qlik dashboard, and they start kind of moving around and asking themselves questions, letting their mind travel to places it's never gone. Historically, with other tools, a lot of times, other dashboards kind of force you into thinking about what your question is, and then you go to the dashboard to find an answer. Qlik kind of works, in a different way, where it's like, what, I'm gonna give you a nice baseline of information. Sure, it's going to be high level aggregated information, and then you're going to start asking questions. And that's the beauty of where you can take this. And when you have that lowest grain of data supporting the entire back end of this, the process power is already taken care of. In today's world of processing millions and millions of rows, it's not a big deal anymore. So performance, what may have historically seemed like an issue is not an issue anymore. You can process millions of records and not have any kind of performance. So go ahead, get down to the lowest level, because inevitably someone is going to be asking, well, what about this? And then what about that region? Well, what products in that region? So if you build it at its lowest level, your brain can go to the lowest level. You can keep asking questions. You can keep finding, things you've never found before. Answers, things jump out. You're like, I had no idea that May was going to be an impacted month. I always thought it was April. And these things just find themselves in front of you when you're able to just, quickly, maneuver through the dashboards. And that's the beauty of where I see, Qlik Sense and in our organization, that's been the feedback we've had.